Hello everybody. We have a new game with the white pieces against Ahmed Rai, rated 1253. We open up with e4. He goes with c6. We're going to get a Caro-Kann maybe. Okay, we get a Caro-Kann on the board. We're going to go knight c3 and develop a piece towards the center. Black plays this very weird line where he does not take the pawn. Instead, he develops the knight. But in this line, I'm just going to push and give him like a bad French, because in the French, this is a thing, but the pawn doesn't waste time on c6. But he goes forward, which looks like weirder and weirder. All these lines I keep thinking he might go down. He keeps doing weirder stuff. So, what's a good move here? Developing the bishop seems like a good move. Threatening to win a pawn. So he develops a piece and says, I'm going to keep the knight here. This has to just be ridiculous / absurd. How do we punish this? Bum, 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 bum. If I go here, is he just going to trade everything? Let's see. If he takes my knight, well, then I'll just take his bishop. So let's go here, bring out another attacker on this square, and the bishop. So it's a 2-for-1. Okay, I expected him to do this, the most natural move to defend, and now I was just going to harass it till the ends of time. So now we're going to make this move g4. It's common to launch these pawns up the board in the Caro-Kann and other structures. When the bishop goes outside the pawn chain, they always want to get it outside to not block it inside, but we use that as an excuse to throw our pawns up the board. So he goes back, and furthermore, I will continue throwing my pawns up the board. Black develops a minor piece and puts more pressure on the knight. If we try to trap the bishop, and he takes with check, and we recapture the piece. If he takes our pawn, he loses a bishop. If we trap the bishop and he takes with the knight, we get a piece, but that's not good because he has multiple ways out. So if he takes this and we took this, he would have discovery checks. Are any of them good? Are any of them good? I don't think so. He doesn't have a good check for on the queen, and I have checkmate coming. So I'm actually gonna go down that sharp line, which hangs various things, but I don't think he has a response. Like, let's say he just takes the pawn. Then you can go bishop d2. So he does take, and now I'm going to take the bishop. He has discoveries, but none that win the queen. Or even a rook, for that matter. Not that the rook would matter, because I'm going to checkmate him if he doesn't. So I'm just going to go king f1 to wherever. Okay, so he does take the pawn. He threatens the rook to come here. But now, the downside of this is his light squares are super weak. This pawn is pinned. So even though I'm in a lot of trouble, so it looks like, I'm going to throw in bishop takes g6 check, because his rook is pinned. So this is kind of smart. And this allows me to continue what I'm doing. Now, my bishop is hanging because his rook is now protected. So we have to be careful. We're gonna throw in this check. And now he hides his king in the corner. We're gonna take stuff for free. That looks nice. So his position looks weird. We're not up at like anything, you know, material, but this is kind of awkward. We're probably gonna give up this rook in the corner, but that's okay. Maybe he's gonna block with the knight. That looks normal. Okay. And I could just move my king just to get out of all the discoveries. If I take this piece, he goes here, I go here, he takes. Well, then I could trap the bishop. That's interesting. I don't know if I'm in time to win it, though. Worth a shot. Kind of cool. Could just move our king, though. That's way safer. This. He could also just take central pawns. But that's speculative. So takes. There, he takes. We go here. He goes c5. Then we take more stuff. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's go for this little weird trappy thing. And see what happens. Now his bishop's trapped. If he tries to get out with his pawns, he's always going to hang something. Okay, he does have a queen, but that evacuates the defense of the king. So now when I go here, I'm threatening to take the knight. It needs to be defended some way. I mean, he can throw in a check, but that doesn't resolve his issue. And we don't even need to win the bishop. We could just leave it there and say we're playing with extra piece. So he goes here, but that's not so reliable. What else? We could go here. So here, check, king over, queen check, king up. Yeah, let's go for it. It looks super sharp, but I mean, this is what fun chess is. Everyone tries to play safe. Oh, protect all my pawns. Oh, don't make any weaknesses. Oh, let's be in Keto. Let's play the Catalan. Let's play the London. Oh, the Caro-Kann is solid. That's not fun. So he goes here. Oh my god, I made the wrong move. That's so funny. I was saying I wanted to go here, and then I took the pawn with the rook. It's still fine, but that's not the move I was telling you guys about. Okay, but if I take here and check, he can go king up. So we just go here and defend the pawn, and then go bishop here. That way the queen doesn't come in with check. We're gonna hide our king on g2 anyway. But he can't really untie himself. Like, he wants to get this rook on a8 out, but he's not playing with it. Okay, he does this, but this allows this check as mentioned before. Threatens a lot of stuff. So now we can change our plan from what we were gonna do to maybe something else. He kind of has to go here to protect the rook, and that hangs this knight. And you could see he's in a corner. And sure, I made a ton of weaknesses, but he couldn't take advantage of them fast enough, right? And okay, I mean, I'm technically up material, but even if I wasn't, this rook it's as if he doesn't have it. So now he's trying, I don't know what he's trying. Yeah, that was weird. So let's go through the game. E4, best by test, Caro-Kann. We want to get a Caro-Kann because I want to show you some cool lines so you can learn. And we play knight c3, and almost always they take the pawn, but this guy didn't. So I want them to take the pawn so I can show you a cool gambit. He didn't do it. So when they play this, It's principled to kick it because normally when they go back and try to play for c5, they have to waste another move with the c pawn. So it's like a little better French. But he jumped in the front. This just looks bad. We develop towards the center. We develop towards the center for free. And now we use this as an opportunity to create a pawn storm on the king side since the center is locked for free. Because the center is locked, whether this is the French or Caro, we want to play on the king side, they want to play on the queen side. So we get to start this for free. He goes here, we threaten to trap it. It's a common idea. Normally they go h6 or h5 to give this bishop a square, but he decided to attack instead. And if we go to the analysis board, it's already plus 2.9 or plus 3.1 if you play the move I played, h5, and don't protect the knight. Anything else, it immediately drops to 0.7, so way worse. So how many of you, be honest, would go for this bishop trap, and how many of you instinctively say, oh, this knight's hit twice, it's all defended once, there's this bishop fork, I absolutely have to play knight here or bishop here. I mean, if you're honest with yourself, a lot of you would definitely have made one of those moves. You would not even have considered trapping it. So you would have missed out on winning the game. And that could be the difference between going from 1500 to 1700. This consideration in a position like this. So we play h5. He takes, but we intermezzo here, threatening checkmate. It doesn't really matter what he would have done. Like, let's say he didn't do this and he moved his knight. Like, that's the thing. There's nowhere to move it. Like, you get in a check, but once I move my king anywhere, you didn't win anything. And I'm still threatening checkmate. I can solidify my pawn chain. Like, it looks scary, but it's not scary. Or even if it is scary, mine's scarier, right? So he takes because he recognizes checkmate. But this allows an additional problem, which is this, which causes his whole position to collapse. So if you look at this geometrically, we're hitting this square, right? We're hitting this square twice, and the rook is going to hit this square. So this is all light square stuff. So when we take back his bishop, we're hitting this twice, and we're hitting this 3 times. So f7 twice, h7 3 times, and g6 is hit once by the bishop. So these 3 squares are being hit a bunch of times right now, and these squares are defended. One of them is defended once, one of them is defended once, and the other one's not defended at all. So when you look at it like that, there's overwhelm on these light squares. So he takes, but that removes a defender of the g6 square. So we're just using all of our light square control to make these tactics work. And now it's just domination. Notice this, I just leave it there. And then you can win a number of ways. The queen actually defends this square, which I didn't realize till later. So you could take this knight, and the pawn's defended, so he doesn't even have this fork. Whoops. But either way, I moved my queen in for the attack. And then you just try to play forcing moves. And even here, I went for that cheeky bishop trap, but you can just go king f1. I mean, what I did, that's kind of a throw. You don't necessarily want to do that in your game when you have a move like king f1, and then that's it. There's no more check, and he's not threatening anything, so he has to just move his knight somewhere, and then you solidify and look at his king, right? So I'm just curious how much of a throw that is. Oops, I made the position. Okay, so king f1 is plus 3. Oh, so my trap is the best move. Nice. Plus 3.8, plus 4.2 if he takes. That's funny. So here, oh, they don't even want him to take the rook. They want him to take the bishop. They don't care about my trap, though. They're saying that's really dumb. Because you could take here, So once they evacuate the rook, what's the point? Oops. Wait, I take this. What if he just, like, I don't know, moves? What's the point of this? Yes, we hit this, which is what we did in the game. But what's the point of taking the pawn there? I don't get it. I mean, we took the pawn later, but I don't see the importance of that. Oh, I guess after you do this, you have a fourth attacker from the side. I did it a different way. Okay. I did it this first. Well, that's because his queen left, so you didn't need the rook. Okay. Yeah, this whole idea was definitely a throw, as I intuited. Definitely just go king f1. But either way, when you put the pressure on like this, they will always crumble because it's just too hard to defend. So that was fun. I love throwing. Hopefully you guys can throw too. I'll see you in the next chess video. Goodbye.